こんばんは。フォーレックス TV ニューヨークのレミです。3月3日月曜日の為替レポートニューヨークレビューをお伝えします。3日のアメリカ株式相場でダウ工業株30週平均は小幅反落しました。ダウ平均は前週末に7ドル49セント安の 12,258 ドル90セントで終えた。ナスダック総合株価指数は 12.88 ポイント安の 2258.60 で終えた。今朝発表された2月の ISM 製造業景況感指数は 48.3 と予想をやや上回りました。1月の建設支出が市場予想を下回り売り材料となりました。またニューヨークマーケンタイル取引所ナイメックスで原油先物相場は反発1ドル103ドル95セントまで上昇し過去最高値を更新しました。ニューヨーク外国為替市場でドルの買い戻しが優勢となりました。円相場は前週末50銭円高ドル安の103円15銭から25銭で始まりました。ニューヨーク市場で円相場は続伸しました。前週末25銭円高ドル安の103円40銭から50銭で取引を終えた。ユーロ円は157円34銭で取引を終えた。またユーロドルは前週末終値の 1.51 ドル台後半から 1.52 ドル台前後に上昇しました。それでは CMC マーケッツのアシュラフ・ライディンさんとのインタビューをご覧ください。
Well, as we near the end of the New York session, the U.S. dollar has pared back earlier losses against the majors. We had comments from the ECB out today, but we've also been seeing commodity prices soar across the board, and the theme in today's session, as well as previous sessions, seems to be short dollars, short equities. But let's start out with euro dollar first. Ahead of this week's central bank meetings, especially with Thursday's ECB, where do you see euro dollar going in the short term?
I think it's really going to go higher. I mean, I don't see it going drastically lower unless we get some really unexpectedly strong numbers. The ISM services in the U.S. on Wednesday, the ADP, factory orders, Thursday numbers, the jobless claims. At the end of the day, Trichet is going to be put on the spot after the decision, and people are going to ask him, what do you think? And then he's going to say, well, we reiterate the strong dollar policy of the United States, and meaning, that glass, it's half full, half empty. Well, we want that glass to be half full. But, he's not going to really say anything else because, as I'm sure all of the viewers know and see, the ECB want a strong euro as long as oil is so expensive.
Okay, now that we've covered euro dollar, let's move on to dollar yen. Overnight in the Asian session, we saw global equities tumble and we saw the Nikkei take a hit of 4.9%. But as we end the New York session, we've seen the major indexes decline, and although dollar yen has edged up above 103 again, in the near term, where do you see dollar yen headed?
Yes, I'm talking to you right now and it's 3:30 and I want to know 3:40. I want to know what the stock market is doing in the US today, because that really is going to determine what the Nikkei is going to do, because we had a 4.5 or 4.6 decline. Decline. If we see further declines, I think we really could see. A dollar yen is really facing big resistance at 103.80. 103.40 and 103.80. But I really think it needs to belong back and retest 103 and then towards 102.50. I don't think we're going to break below, let's say, 102.20 today. I do not really think so, unless we have such a big bad close in the US today, and that will follow, let's say, another 3% decline in the Nikkei. Then maybe we could see that. But I think the best play is to be long yen, short Canadian, long yen, short sterling.
Okay, Ashraf, you just mentioned the Canadian currency, and looking ahead to tomorrow's session, in the North American session, we have the BOC coming out with their rate announcement. Earlier on in today's session, we got weaker than expected Q4 GDP from our neighbor up north, but there has been talk that there might be a possible 50 basis point rate cut tomorrow. So based on your expectations, where do you see dollar CAD?
Yeah, actually, after the data today, it's becoming more of a possibility that we're going to do 50 basis points. But even if they do 25, Remy, even if they do 25, I think they're going to open the door for further rate cuts, and that will really weigh on the Canadian dollar. So I really see a very good chance for dollar Canada to go above a 98.95 98.70, and I really think we could go towards parity. We could see parity actually tomorrow. We could because look, there is no data in the U.S. tomorrow, right? There is this number from Canada, from there is the rate cut, and I think that could definitely weigh on the Canadian versus the dollar. Like I said, Canadian yen, we could be testing 103.50, 103.60, and Aussie Canada.
Yes.
Aussie Canada is what I like it because probably by the time you guys will view this, the Aussies would have raised rates already by 25 basis points to 7.25%. But what you have to really pay attention to is 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time release of retail sales from Australia. And if these come in lower than 0.9 or 0.8%, they may not be good for the Aussie. If they are strong, if they are, let's say, at least 0.9 or above 1%, then you really could see Aussie Canadian pushing much higher, and you could see the Aussie dollar pushing higher.
以上 CMC マーケッツのアシュラフ・ライーディさんとのインタビューでした。ForexTV ニューヨークのレミがお伝えしました。最新の為替情報については ForexTV ジャパンをご覧ください。